Well, we finally weeded this onion patch. It's 12 bags down there. You can see some of them are stuffed is pretty full. And that was the grass I put down over the leeks. We got this pretty clean. And what you do is get down your hands and knees, or I use an old small throw rug that you'd have by your door. And I set that on that, and then I have these little kneelers made out of foam with a handle on them, and I lay an arm on that, and then I can dig with my right hand and fill the bag up. But that's been done. Now all we got to do is put compost on it tomorrow and measure off how far we want, because we might put another row in here. We don't need corn from there all the way over to here, so we might put another row in here and then put the corn in there. We got to finish doing the pole beans, weeding, and we hope to get onto that tomorrow and put this compost dust down the middle. Well, we got all the weeds up. I've covered this with compost, and it was a lot darker. That was a couple hours ago, and now I'm going to turn this in and all this in up to that line where that compost is, because that's a walkway. And I'll turn all this in, and then we'll be able to plant some corn. Yeah, slowly but surely we're whittling down this compost pile. And even this will be, I'm going to have to run a plow in this and get up some of that dust too, because that's still 5 or 6 inches of compacted compost. And that might be too much to turn into the soil, since my plow only works 6 inches deep. So right now I'm running a lawnmower chopping this up. We still have to do the center of this cucumber bed, and a lot of cucumbers didn't come up, surprisingly, but we have more than we'll need. Well, it's Tuesday the 24th of June. At 7:07 p.m. A gorgeous day. Been rather hot. It's going to get hotter. We've turned all this in. We left a row right there to walk where that seed is. And we've run this 2 times. Tomorrow I'll put down fertilizer and lime. And I will run it again. Probably at least 4 passes, because it takes a while to get that stuff mixed in. At the beginning with the back tine rototiller, you're really tilling in about 3-4 inches. The tiller will go down about 6, and you have to just sort of let this stuff settle a little bit, and then go back over it again and let it work its way down to 6 inches, and then it'll look more like soil. My bride's been in there all day weeding these beans, and I've been putting compost dust on them. We're going to have to pull these sconces off the squash. Cloches, I said sconces, cloches off the squash, and we'll probably run another little piece of fence. Now, we had this around for a gate so we could walk in and out to weed and whatever, and pick beans. And once they get up, the rabbits will leave them alone. And we'll have to run one down here and over to that end just to protect them. A little tip, when you plant stuff, the rabbits have eaten the okra on this end pretty good, and I plant them really thick. And that way I can take a bulb planter and I can go down there and put a hole everywhere I want one. And then I can take up these extra ones that are too close together and put them down here, and they'll all come in about the same time. And my lawnmower's been doing a lot of work today. That bucket fell off my lawnmower. I've never had that happen. And that was some extra I had, and all this is done except this outside row. We've been handling that over the fence. The pile's not very big, and it's a slight rise there, you can see. And so I ran the tiller through this, started over there and came back and back and back, and it'll dry out a little bit during the night, and I'll start picking it up this edge and that edge and get that down. I'm trying to get this level, because you really can't turn in a foot of compost on top of soil. You know, I'm hoping for about a good 4-inch average around it. And I've been blowing this stuff. You can see it up on that fence. It's up there 3 or 4 inches deep. See what I mean? So that'll just turn under. We have very few weeds, and 25% of those are tomatoes. So we should get this done tomorrow. Maybe get the melons done and get 1/3 of the corn crop in. We're going to stagger it. But you won't see this for a while because we're down here to Monday. As the sun sets. And on the 20th, 4 days ago, was the furthest apex of the sun. And I told you that it was over here, and it sets and walks across the sky. And that's about as far as it goes, and then it walks back to the shortest day of the year. Well, the compost pile is pretty much gone. I might take a little more out of there tomorrow once it dries out. I'm still going to take a little off of this. We're piling it back in that corner because that's the weakest soil. We've got compost or compost dust on almost this whole bed except that little place right there. All these rows are done. We're going to transplant some of those okras tomorrow over here and fill in and get these weeds out. We took our cloches down and ran a fence around it because the rabbits will still eat it. There's a few weeds in there. We'll get those out tomorrow and see how we've got the soil on each side of it. We'll just pull it over to the plants. And the pole beans, they're squashed by the way. And the pole beans here, they've got compost dust, what I'm calling compost dust, all around them. And I've plowed this 6 times so far. You can see where I was walking it, how soft and fluffy this stuff is. And 2 or 3 more passes and it'll be ready to plant. Anyway, it's starting to look like a garden. And the tomatoes are getting tall. They're getting taller than me. And we're tying them up about every 3 days.